Trafalgar Deepwater Law, more commonly known as just Trafalgar Law, is a pirate from North Blue, and the captain and doctor of the Heart Pirates. He is one of 12 pirates who are referred to as the Worst Generation. He became one of the 7 warlords of the sea during the time skip, but his position was revoked for allying with the Straw Hat Pirates. Law, like many other pirates, dreams of finding the One Piece, while also desiring to know the purpose of the Will of Deep. But before we start this video, please smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and click notification bell, or you will miss future anime videos. Law underwent an extremely rigorous combat training regimen under the Don Quixote Pirates as a child, attaining incredible superhuman physical prowess. Additionally, he has the physical power to block Doflamingo's extremely powerful overheat string, which shook the Thousand Sunny with just his sword. He easily wielded Kikoku, a sword as tall as himself with great speed, and is able to slice enemies faster than they can react, as well as keep up with Doflamingo. He was also capable of enduring a prolonged brutal beating from Virgo, which resulted in him becoming severely bloody before defeating him in a single blow once Smoker had retrieved his heart. Even as a child dying from the incurable Amberlees syndrome, Law was able to keep up with the very harsh training regimen of the Don Quixote Pirates, of which even adults could not keep up with. Even when his disease reached a fatal stage, he could survive to ruthless beatings from Virgo. During the Worst Generation's fight against Kaido, Law took a Thunder Bugler from the Emperor and managed to not only stay conscious, but also retain enough energy to go and challenge Big Mom, something Luffy couldn't do. Even when he was defeated and injured by Don Quixote Doflamingo and Admiral Fujitora, as well as pinned to the ground by Isho's Devil Fruit power, Law was able to quickly recover and escape. During his second confrontation with Doflamingo, Law was able to fight him, and even though he was still wounded from their first encounter, as well as having his right arm severed while being brutally assaulted further, he was able to continue fighting and deal Doflamingo a severe wound with his Gamma Knife move. Also, even though Law was incapacitated by Treble, he was still able to use his Devil Fruit power to control his severed arm as well as defeat the officer. Law also has formidable skills in martial arts, having been trained in this aspect by Lao Ji in the anime. Law was able to hold his own against Luffy, an extremely powerful fighter, in a fist fight when Breed forced Luffy to fight Law through the Pido Pido no Mi. With armament Haki, Law could block against Doflamingo's Gashikado with his arms crossed in a defensive stance. Even at age 13, Law could defeat both Penguin and Shachi, who were bullying Beepo, a mink who is a natural-born fighter, impressing them to the point they swore loyalty to him. Since childhood, Law was already well-versed in medicine, having attended an academy for medical science, while his father, the best doctor of Flevens, personally taught him the more intricate procedures. Even after he joined the Don Quixote Pirates, he still retained a profound understanding of medical science, as he was able to use the Ope Ope no Mi to remove all traces of the amber lead inside his dying body. This was noteworthy as he was able to find a cure for the poisoning that was said to be incurable and live past the age he was supposed to die at. His medical aptitude was what led Don Quixote Rocinante to conclude that Law was most compatible with the fruit, which prompted him to secure the Ope Ope for Law after he received information from both his brother and Sengoku of the fruit's present whereabouts at the time. He earned the nickname Surgeon of Death due to his immense surgical skills. In addition to his formidable combat abilities, he was able to simultaneously operate on both Luffy and Jinbei, right after both of them barely escaped a murderous Akainu who inflicted brutal life-threatening injuries that left them on the brink of death, and was successful in treating them. The mere fact that he was able to stabilize Jinbei's condition strongly hints that Law's medical expertise is not limited to human anatomy alone, though human and fishmen share the same blood, so it is possible that they have similar anatomies. He later volunteers to find a cure for the children's condition at Punk Hazard, showing that he is also very knowledgeable in pharmacology. The fact he was able to apply pharmacology knowledge into his Devil Fruit power so as to remove most of Caesar's deadly and HC-10 drug out of the children's bodies, though not completely, is a noteworthy feat and is something even Chopper was amazed by. The spatial powers given to him by the Ope Ope no Mi allow Law to perform even the most complicated and difficult surgeries perfectly with great ease, as they allow him to cut a patient's body open and remove organs without damaging any tissues, leaving scars. or causing the patient to bleed a single drop of blood while removing any disease, causing impurities as well as poisonous substances and narcotic drugs from the patient's body. This was demonstrated off-screen during the conclusion of the Punk Hazard arc, in which he had treated the children with a series of surgeries that involved cutting the children's bodies apart in a manner that initially made Chopper believe he had killed them. As a boy, Law was able to remove all the poisonous amber lead inside his dying body, thus curing himself of the amber lead syndrome, while proving his capability to use the Ope no Mi for treating even incurable diseases. Law could also apply his medical knowledge of anatomy into his devil fruit powers for combat, such as aiming his Sturban technique directly at Treble's real body, which kept hidden under a large amount of mucus disguised as a large body, or precisely removing important and delicate organs of powerful enemies, such as the heart, which would render them vulnerable to lethal harm, such as death, which was proven when Law extracted Monet's heart with his power and gave it to Caesar, who fatally stabbed Monet's heart while bypassing her defensive powers as a Logia user, effectively killing her. Law, as well as Sanji and Badge, was able to keep Caesar, who is also a Logia user and a dangerous criminal, under complete control due to having taken his heart hostage, which was removed in a similar fashion, and the fact he used his anatomical knowledge to invent the gamma knife technique on his devil fruit, which could fatally rupture and destroy the internal organs of even a warlord of the sea like Doflamingo, further proving the fearsome way Law could actually weaponize his medical knowledge. Likewise, he also managed to pinpoint Kaido's heart in his dragon form to cause him significant damage with his gamma knife. Law is a very crafty and opportunistic leader, and also a highly skilled strategist, being the only member of the worst generation to voluntarily rest in the Paradise half of the Grand Line for at least 2 months before entering the treacherous region of the New World. Proving great caution and tactical preparedness, he obtained the title of Warlord of the Sea in order to avoid detection of his actions and easily sail through the New World. While in Punk Hazard, Law secretly swapped numerous sea stone chains with ordinary chains as a future precaution that proved to be critical in allowing him to stealthily escape from Caesar's cage that is about to be exposed to the deadly Shinakuni gas. As Virgo noted, Law concocted a multi-layered plan to cripple Doflamingo's smile trade by destroying the sad production facilities on Punk Hazard as well as abducting Caesar, the only person who knows how to create the unique substances. Through this plan, Law managed to force Doflamingo, an extremely cunning and resourceful pirate in his own right, into an utterly disadvantageous choice of quitting the 7 warlords of the sea and facing the admirals, or keeping his position and face Kaido's wrath. He was able to fool Doflamingo into believing he killed him by swapping places with a foot soldier when the latter shot him repeatedly and retaliated when the latter's guard was down. When badly weakened, Law resorted to tactically defeat Treble, tricking the latter into letting his guard down to finish him off with his Sturban technique. When Kinema's original plan had been exposed by Kanjuro, Law was able to instantly formulate a backup plan, taking advantage of Luffy and Kid's headstrong and reckless nature to create an effective diversion while using it as an opportunity to transport the 9 red scabbards to Kaido's residence by sea using the Polar Tang and his devil fruit powers. Law ate the Ope no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit which allows him to create a sphere of light blue aura, inside which he can manipulate the fabric of space. He can manifest this aura sphere over a very wide area. However, he cannot move the sphere once he's conjured it. He would instead have to dismiss the sphere and create a new one in a different location. Furthermore, Law has to concentrate in order to maintain and use his power, and unlike most devil fruit powers, Law's powers directly take a toll on his stamina. Inside the aura sphere, he can exert complete control over the fabric of space, referred to as the ability to operate on anything within the spherical operating room. He can move things within the area of the sphere telekinetically and make things, including himself and other people, swap locations via teleportation. However, he cannot move other people with strong Haki very far, as they possess more resistance to Law's power. He can also swap incorporeal things, such as souls, resulting in the victim swapping bodies. He is also able to cut things from a distance and without actually damaging them, as well as reassemble things into various combinations. He can even attach living body parts to inanimate objects. Living things cut into pieces by this power remain alive and still able to move, even if the head is removed from the body. This power can also be used for medical purposes, Law can completely remove harmful matter, such as drugs and diseases, from organic tissue. Additionally, he can attach new body parts to a person's body to replace destroyed body parts. He can also use his power to scan anyone within the sphere in a manner similar to an X-ray machine. Law can use his power to generate high-voltage energy. He can generate electrical energy to shock his opponents, and he can generate a blade of energy that he can use to damage his enemy's internal organs without leaving an external wound. Law has achieved Devil Fruit Awakening, allowing him to create and adhere a miniature rune to his weapons, which then gain the ability to harmlessly bypass anything solid and directly operate on the insides of whatever they may phase through. This directly addresses one of the fruit's biggest weaknesses, which is the stationary nature of his field of range. By Law's own admission, he has not fully mastered his awakened powers, and using them takes a serious toll on his stamina. Law is extremely skilled in wielding his HYPEKAGE, a sword about as tall as he is. Even without using his devil fruit abilities, Law is capable of fighting even a vice admiral such as Smoker, as he is able to clash against his JIT with little effort, and even block extremely powerful long-range attacks, such as Doflamingo's overheat. In contrast to the ranged slashes of traditional swordsmen, Law's sword slashes don't travel but simply provide the cutting effect, while his spatial manipulation within his rune provides the range. Through spatial slicing, he can dismember people without harming them and attach separated parts in any manner he sees fit. His swordsmanship combined with his devil fruit powers enable him to mutilate numerous people at once faster than they can react, easily defeating Kinemon, a master of Kitsune Nibiryu, and one of Wano's most powerful samurai in this manner. He easily defeats Tashuji, a highly skilled swordswoman of the Marines, severing her sword in two in one slash, as well as taking down Scotch and his giant knife in one swift move. He also managed to mutilate Treble, an enormous man, and also one of the strongest members of the Don Quixote Pirates. His greatest swordsmanship feats shown so far have been defeating Virgo, one of the strongest members of the Don Quixote Pirates, where the wake of his slash was capable of cutting apart Caesar's laboratory and the surrounding mountains, and cutting a meteor in half. He also managed to wrap the rope created by Don Quixote Doflamingo's attack around his sword. He was able to use his sword to quickly parry bullet strings shot at him by Doflamingo. Law has shown great skill in armament Haki, as he was able to slice Virgo while the latter hardened his entire body with armament Haki, and he could also block Doflamingo's Gashikudo, which is powerful and sharp enough to slice Isho's meteorite, and also took out a large portion of the palace without getting injured at all. During his battle with Smoker, Law was shown capable of bypassing the Vice Admiral's Logia defenses thanks to his own Haki powers. Law possesses the ability to use observation Haki,